Thank you for joining me for Takeaway Tuesday for the month of August. This is the last week we will be using the Floral Charms Designer Series paper, and we're kind of getting down to the last little bits that we have. I am very excited. I had so much fun making the cards this month. Comment below if you've been following along. Now, Takeaway Tuesday, what I do is I offer packages that you can follow along each week, and this is a sample of one of them. So this week we are working on package number 4, and this is the last one for the month. Everything is inside, which includes embellishments and ribbon and stuff for you to follow along. As I said, we're using the Floral Charms Designer Series paper. I just love this. This was such a great little designer series paper that we have been working with. So take a look for your package, Takeaway Tuesday for August, package number 4. I'm going to be making 2 cards today, but your package contains for 1 card. So this is what I've put all my little pieces in a little like kind of a stamp case. Stampin' Up! Is getting away from these, and they will be on sale, and you can grab these. And I think they're great for putting little bits in, ribbons, embellishments, and stuff like that. Don't forget to grab some of those before they leave. So for this card, I'm going to be using this gorgeous little paper with the petal pink flowers. But, for my second card, I think I'm going to use this one on blue. And I'm going to make one that's landscape. Whoops. Landscape, which means sideways like this, so it opens like so. Or portrait, and it is up and down like this. So I'm going to make 2 cards to show you. My name is Tina Kvergich, but don't worry, you can always just call me Northern Stamper. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to know about, such as the supplies I'm using or such like that, please drop me an email at northernstamper@gmail.com. Don't forget, next month, for the month of Takeaway Tuesday for September, we are using the Gathering Together suite. I love this. I love fall. I love the ideas that they have in here. Now, they have the stamps. There's an embossing folder with little trees on it. Looks great. There is some twine, which is Mossy Meadow and Early Espresso. I think those are beautiful color combinations. But what really gets it for me is I am looking at the dies that come with this. Now, these are huge dies, absolutely huge. And they're a lot of fun to create with. And you're going to notice that some of them have got little holes in them. Those are for little things to do. But you know what? They are fantastic. So there's a maple leaf and an oak leaf. Don't forget to join me for Takeaway Tuesday in September. You don't want to miss this because at the end of the month, I have a week long, which is Monday to Friday, an event for you to follow along, and we're going to be making cards. So the dies, take a look at this. See the little holes in there? That is very cool. We can do a lot of things. Maybe thread it with gold thread or do different things with it. A lot of fun. Gathering moments. So the September Takeaway Tuesday Gathering Together Suite. I just love it. If you'd like to know where to find it, it is on the online exclusive. If you don't know where to find that, drop me an email at northernstamper@gmail.com and I will be happy to help you along. So let's take a look at some of the items that we have in our package. Oh, but before we do that, I want to showcase there's a new kit coming out on September the 3rd that you just don't want to miss. This is a fantastic kit. I just love it. What I like about it best, so take a look at it here. See the little truck? It is absolutely fantastic. This little red truck, I think, is going to make it really great. And what we're going to be doing with this is a kit, which means it comes with a stamp set, a little ink spot, and all the items that you need to make some cards. But if you want to join me, we will be making card alternatives with this. I am so super excited about this. I am just loving it. I can't wait to order this. So the orders for this go on on Tuesday, September the 3rd. So if you would like to join me and make card alternatives with this kit, drop me an email at northernstamper@gmail.com to get on the list so that I can make sure that you get it. And we will be making cards. You can follow along whenever it is convenient. I will make recordings, video recordings for you, and you can follow it along whenever you works best for you. So let's take a look at the items that are in the package. So let's take a look, Takeaway Tuesday for August, package number 4. Okay, let's put those aside. First of all, what we have is our card base, and I'm going to be doing 2 here. So this one is landscape. I'm going to open up this package, and inside you will see that inside the package there is the card base. This one will be portrait, which means up and down, and this one will be landscape. Inside you will see a piece of basic white that is in there. There is a piece of basic white, and this is a scrap we are going to be stamping on. You're going to see I have pre-punched a sentiment tag for you. There you go. Let's put these all together. 1, 2, and 3. And there is some ribbon that goes with this. I love this ribbon. So pretty. And it works so well. Don't forget, choose the designer series paper that you want to use. So we're going to put this one on that card. And maybe we'll go with this one on this card. Okay, so choose your designer series paper. If you do not have the exact pieces, that's okay. Follow along, and you can make cards with the items that you have in your stash. What you will need to add is, I will be using some Stampin' Blends. If you know me, designer series paper and Stampin' Blends are my 2 absolute favorite. And I've chosen the Stampin' Blends that match in with the colors here. You also do need to have some ink, and I'm just going to use Memento black ink for my sentiment, and you need that to stamp one of the images. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring in from another stamp set. Now you can take a look through your own stamp sets and see what you have. And I'm going to be looking for a little flower, and I love this. This is Gallery Blooms. This is an absolute fantastic stamp set. I love it. I've used it so much. And in particular, I'm looking for this one flower here. I could use this one, which maybe I will for one of these. Maybe, you know what? I think I'll use one for the portrait, which will be this longer one because it's longer this way, and one for the landscape, which is kind of this one will do, which is a little bit more along the line of the landscape card. So I'm going to be looking for an image that I can color in, and Gallery Blooms works really well. I just love these flowers, and I think it works really, really well with the designer series paper. So let's get our space cleared up. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's take a look at our designer series paper and our card base, because we're going to do a little bit of modification to the card base itself. Now, what I want to do is I want to cut this down. Right now, this is a little bit too big. I need to cut it down to 5 inches by, 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So it depends on which way you're doing it. So if you're doing it portrait, which is up and down, this needs to be 4 inches wide. So from here to here is 4 inches. And from here, from the top to bottom, is 5 1/4. So if you were doing portrait, which means like an up and down card, we need to cut it 4 inches by 5 1/4. So let's do that one for here. So I'm just going to take that, cut it at 4 inches, turn it to 5 1/4. And I'm going to just lay that on there so that you can see. So that has an edge all the way around. Now, if I'm going to do that with landscape, which is this card here, this one, you know, long ways, I have to flip these numbers around. So if I'm going to do that over here, these will have to be flipped around. So just be aware that if it is directional, like this is directional, I have to be aware which way it is. So 5 1/4 is from one edge to the other, and then 4 from top to bottom, where on the portrait it is the other way around. So I'm just going to cut that to those dimensions. Okay, I don't want to kind of mix you up, but I just want you to be aware that when you are working with portrait and landscape, which way the numbers go. So if I place that on top, again, 4 inches top to bottom, 5 1/4 side to side. So there we go, right on top. You can see how they both fit. See, there's an edge all the way around. But I am not done. I'm not going to glue these yet because I want to make a modification to this card first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 1 inch off on each card. Okay, so let's move this off. I'm going to cut off 1 inch, and that's going to be like right here, right along this edge. See, the hinge is on the left side. Okay, I'm not going to cut there. I'm going to cut on the edge here 1 inch, and I'm going to cut 1 inch from the bottom. Let's make sure that you can see 1 inch from the bottom. And I'm going to do that for both of them. Okay. There we go. I got 1 inch on the bottom. I'm going to cut that off, put that off to the side. That was the landscape one, and this is for the portrait. I'm going to cut at 1 inch. Let's move this over. And I'm going to cut this at 1 inch. So you can see that it is missing a portion off the front on each side. All right. What I want to do, now if I take my designer series paper and I put it on top, it kind of goes a little bit over. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut that exact same 1 inch off on my designer series paper, each one. So I'm going to cut this one off on the right hand side at 1 inch. Okay, that's for this one. And I'm going to do the same for the landscape one. I'm going to take it from the bottom 1 inch. Okay, that's it for the cutting. So what I'm going to do, so I don't lose these little 1 inch pieces, I'm actually just going to glue those down first. Because I don't know about you, I just find it easier to do that, and then I don't worry about losing them anywhere on my desk here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to add some glue, and I'm going to place it on the inside of the card. Where, you know, that portion that we cut off, it's kind of just going to show on that. So there we go. As I close it, it's in there. And I'm going to do that for each one. This is the portrait, and let's do that for the landscape. I'm going to place it on the inside. There we go. Now, before I glue these pieces on, I want to remember that those ribbons that I had, the ribbons, what I want to do is I'm going to wrap those ribbons around the edges. Okay. I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it roughly about the bottom portion area down here. And let's just kind of tape that down. And I will do this for both of them. So there we go, nice around. There we go. There we go, one. And I'm going to wrap that ribbon around this one, this bottom portion here. There we go. Tape it down. I don't want to lose too much of the ribbon, so I'm just going to trim it down. Make sure it's wrapped around. There we go. So we have wrapped the ribbon around. Now what I can do is I can glue these onto the card base. I'm not doing anything else with ribbon, so I can glue these on. Okay, just like that. And again, I want to have a nice edge. Look at that gorgeous edge around. So this is all coming together so nicely. This is one of my favorite card designs. There we go. So we have those glued down. I'm going to place these aside. Look at that. It is really coming in. Oh, okay, it's a little crooked, but it's okay. We'll figure that out later. These are really coming together. You know what? All you really need to do is you could just leave it like this and add a sentiment, but let's step it up a little bit more. We're going to do some stamping. Let's move these off to the side for a moment. Okay. What I want to do, there is a piece. Oh, yeah. Like that. There we go. I think I need a longer piece because the one that is portrait, remember this image? I think I need to find another piece. It won't fit on one of these, so let's see. If I put it sideways, maybe I will. Let's take a look. Okay. So can I get it on here? Oh, I guess I could. Look at that. It fits on that one sideways. Okay. And because these gallery blooms come with coordinating dies, once I stamp, I can cut them out. There we go, like that. There's one that goes that way. Let's do this one on this. There we go. And let's get the die for that one, because once we're done stamping in our Memento Black, we're going to die cut these out. And again, I'm using Memento Black so I can use the stamping blends. So I have them like that. So that's how they're going to go. All right. Let's get those stamped. Okay. Now, make sure we get a block. I'm going to take that off. Put that on the block. There we go. That'll go for that one. Take that off. Make sure I have it. And that will go on this one. There we go. I'm going to get my Memento Black, and because I want to make sure my Memento Black, now this is, I bought this one in 2024. See, you'll see I put the year, and also on the back to make sure it matches. I'm going to just add a little bit more ink to this, and all I'm going to do is just kind of go like this along. And what's going to happen is it will absorb in. You can get a little spoon to smush it around, but that's okay. I'm not going to. I just put it on, and I'm going to take this, because this is a little larger. Let's make sure it's on the block. I see something hanging off. There we go. I'm going to leave it flat down because it's a little larger, and I'm going to take my Memento Black, and I'm taking the pad to the stamp. Okay. I'm going to look. See if it's all inked up. Okay, and I'm going to stamp on here. Oh, look how that turned out. Oh, looks fantastic. Because this one is a little smaller, it's easier. I can kind of just tap on the ink pad. Double check. And I want a nice, crisp black image. So that's why I added the ink. There we go, and we stamp those. Oh, I love flowers. I love flowers. I don't know about you. I just love flowers. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to take these and I am going to die cut them out. And I'm going to place them on here, and I'm actually going to add a little bit of a little post-it note. I'm sure you've seen this trick before. I'm lining it up. I'm looking where the stem is. I want to make sure it doesn't move, and these little post-it notes always seem to work the best. I'm just going to put them on there, line it up. Okay, oops, look on the top and the bottom. There we go. And I don't want these to move. The Post-it notes helps a lot. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to die cut them. Let's check out how those turned out. Okay. Take off our little Post-it notes. And we're just going to pop those out. I think the dies work really well. Sure, you can always fussy cut these out, but I think the dies work really well. Very quick. Before I add them onto the card, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take in some of the Stampin' Blends and I'm going to do some coloring. And I'm going to color these flowers. Now what I want to do is I want to coordinate with the colors that are in each of the designer series paper. So this one's going to be on that, and this one will be on here. Put those off so that you can see. There you go. And what I want to do is I have a variety of colors, but before I start coloring on the image itself, I am going to take a little sample and I'm going to color to see if they match. And I'm going to do that for a bunch of them. And I'm going to choose the one that I think is the closest color, and the one that is not the closest color, I will set aside. That's kind of close. And I want to add some highlights, so I bring in a little bit of a different or darker color. Oh, that one is almost exactly perfect. So there we go. I can bring these ones in. I think this one was a little bit too bright, so I think that was that one. And just going to experiment with some of the colors. Oh, that's really dark, but I think I could get away with that. So I think those three colors here match that, and I'm going to do that for both of them. Just to double check, let's do that again to make sure that I have the right colors with me. Okay, and I think that is going to work. Now, this brown is very dark, and this is a copper clay color. And I'm not going to use too much of it, but it is a nice dark color to add some highlights. So I'm going to set these other ones aside that I'm not going to be using. And because the copper clay was so dark, I'm going to start with that, and I'm actually just going to touch in a couple of areas on where I think the highlights will be on this flower. And I'm actually only going to work on one flower kind of at a time. Because these are alcohol-based markers. So what I'm going to do is then blend these in. And if I do the whole coloring first and then blend, the alcohol that's in the alcohol markers kind of moves away and it doesn't quite spread the way I want it to. So I'm going to do it kind of carefully, a little bit at a time. So what I'm trying to do is pull that alcohol that I just placed down on that copper clay and move it out. And you're noticing I'm not going to color the whole piece with one color. I'm bringing in those spots that I've left white, and I'm kind of blending all three of them. So there's going to be some areas that have white, and I will cover that up with the other color. Again, trying to blend out those harsh lines. There is some tricks to using Stampin' Blends, and everybody is different with that. So I'm going to show you that one technique on this card, and on that one I'll show you something else. Okay. So for this one, I'm showing you how I'm just using the darker colors in specific areas, fully coloring in the flower. Again, I'm going to try and pull out some of that alcohol and spread it around from that color. Okay, And that's what I'm trying to do with that. And you're going to see that I'm not fully coloring the whole flower with the 1 or 2 colors. See, there's a couple of white spots. I'm going to bring that in with my third Stampin' Blend. And that kind of gives a little bit of dimension to that flower. Again, trying to pull out those harsh lines. There we go. So that is how I'm going to work with this one in particular. On this one, I'm going to show you a little different technique. So what I want to do is I'm actually not going to use all 3 colors. I'm going to use the lightest color, and I think I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to follow it along, but I'm not coloring the whole flower in. I'm leaving some white spaces on that. So you're going to see I will be coloring in the majority of it, but as you can see, there is more white spaces around. Now, if you want to highlight a little bit on that with another color, you could bring that in, right? But I want to leave some of that white exposed on that flower, where on this one, I colored it in completely with the 3 colors. So those are 2 different things that you can do with the Stampin' Blends. I love Stampin' Blends. I think coloring is always one of my favorite. Again, what I'm going to do for the leaves is I'm bringing in some Mossy Meadow because that's the color here. And I'm just going to lightly touch it like this. I'm going to color in the majority of the leaves, a little bit more, but I'm going to leave some white spaces. Again, this one I'm not doing as much of coloring in as I did the first one. It just gives a different design to the flower itself. See the color combination on those? Those look absolutely fantastic. Oh my goodness, I love it. So let's bring this up. And we're going to bring back in our card, and I'm going to place this one on here, and I'm going to overhang it a little bit. Okay, and there we go. Bring this one down, and I'm going to kind of overhang it on that side. Now, I also have my sentiment tag. I'm not gluing this down yet because I want to kind of tuck in the sentiment tag behind. Now, I can place that one down here, the sentiment tag, or I can place it up here. I think I might do it a little bit closer to break up the design of this flower against that. It kind of clashes, like you kind of lose it in there. So I might just place it up here and put a bow on the bottom. Where on this one, I'm going to take it and I'm just going to tuck it underneath and have it kind of straddle on the bottom. Oops, let's go. There we go. So I'm going to look for a sentiment that would fit on those. And I'm just going to look for a little one, and all I'm going to do to make sure that it fits, so I'm just going to like sit it on top. Oh, that one fits right on there. Look at that. Do I have one for there? Let's take a look. You know what? I think that one might work with this one, thinking of you. So those fit on there, and I just grabbed it from an old stamp set. So I know when I stamp the sentiment for this one, I have to do it kind of lower down here, near the bottom. So let's get our Memento black ink, ink it up, and I'm going to stamp fairly close to the bottom, knowing that the majority of this will be covered by that flower and under that ribbon. Let's take this one. Again, I know it needs to go in that little corner over there. I'm going to try and get it over as much as I can and up. Okay. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it in 2 spots, so just in case one doesn't work. So there's the top and there's the bottom. So let's see which one works the best for this. So I'm not sure how this is going to work with that. Okay, So let's get some dimensionals, and now we want to add some height to those flowers. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and it looks like I have to place it kind of down here because where the sentiment is, and that would look okay. Let's flip it over. Remember we did one on the top? Oh, look, oh, that fits up there. Oh, that's a tough one. Oh, I think I'm going to keep it up there, and I'm going to actually place that right there. I'm going to add some dimensionals to that. Just tuck it underneath. Okay, I'm going to double check. So if I have my flower like this, there we go. Just double check. There we go. I'm going to put like that, like that. I want to add some ribbon behind this, so I'm just going to leave it like that for now. This one, the landscape one, I want it to kind of overhang. All right, I know it's going to overhang, so let's just place that on there. Hold that in place because the little flowers are going to go on top. And that's easy enough to hold on. Not taking the backings off yet because I just want to double check. Yes, those will fit really well on that. I'm going to just take those off now and glue those down. Now, I could add some ribbon to the back of the flower before I place it down, and I think it needs a little bit more, so I think those ribbons are going to look really good. I'm going to have to get a piece of ribbon and just kind of go back and forth, just like this. Let's go back and forth. One, cut on an angle for some design, tape it, oops, just like that, tape it on the back. I got a little piece left over. I don't want to waste that, so let's just add it in. There we go, add it in. Tiny little pieces of ribbon. Oh yeah, that's going to look great, so let's just put that on there like that. I think I need another piece of dimensional right underneath, right kind of, if it seems to be sticking up a little bit. Let's just tuck that in there. We'll hold it down. Oh, that looks great. Oh my goodness, that card is done. With the exception, we add some embellishments. Oh, look how that, I love the ribbon, I love the coloring. I'm going to do some with the same thing. I'm going to get some of my ribbon, and I'm going to place it behind there. Okay. Let's do that. And let's take a look. Do we want to have it kind of like that? Or do we want to have it turned? I'm just going to hide it a little bit. You know what? I think I'm going to do a little bit like this. I'm going to do a little bit like this, I think. Tape it down. Because if I was an octopus, this would work way better. But I'm not. Okay, there's one loop, and I think it needs a little bit more. Do you know what? Because that's wider, I'm going to do that and make a little V on this side, kind of bringing it out a little bit more onto the flower. That kind of breaks up that visual between the DSP and the flower itself. Make sure this stays down. Sometimes you just got to kind of work it. There we go. And let's add some dimensionals to the back. I think this is going to be really, really nice. I love how this all kind of comes together. The colors of the designer series paper with the Stampin' Blends and everything. I think it works really well. And the ribbon. There we go. Let's turn this over. There we go. Now, if I had any ribbon left, I could make a little bow here. You know what? Let's see. I do have a little bit left. Let's see. I got enough to make a little shoelace knot. Let's see if this will work. Oh, look at that. Oh, that worked really well. Now I got a little piece of ribbon left. What should I do with it? You know what? I'm going to stick it under there. Got a little piece left. Why not use it? Don't want to waste it. Okay, gonna glue that. Oh goodness, okay. We're just gonna tuck that underneath. There we go. Oh, you know what? Maybe not on that side. Oh, jeez. Let's tuck it on this side. That looked just kind of out of place for me. There we go. Tuck it right under there. There. Oh, there we go. That's full of ribbon. There we go. And because this is holding up a little bit, I'm going to tuck a little bit, another piece. Now we got to do the inside of the card because when we open it, it's going to be too dark. See, there we go. And that's what these pieces of basic white are. These pieces go on the inside, just like that. You can stamp the inside with a sentiment or a flower if you like, and I just tuck that in. Here, one. Tuck this in on the other one. Two. There we go. And there. That is, those look great, but oh, we just need one more element. Let's look at some. I've got some retired embellishments, and oh my goodness, look, they match the color. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just going to pop some of these on. These are going to, that's amazing. You know what? Take a look in your stash and see what you got. There we go. These are little sequins I had left over. Just using my nail to slide it. And roughly place it on the card. Okay, that one wants to be there. Okay. There we go. And I'll use a whole bunch. Why not? And another one over here. There we go. A couple of little ones over here. There we go. There we go. Nice. There we go. Oh, those look absolutely fantastic. I love it. Let me know which one you like the best. Did you like the full color flower one or the one with a little bit more of the white in the space? Let me know what you think. I do appreciate you joining me for Takeaway Tuesday. My name is Tina Kavergich. If you have any questions, drop me an email at northernstamper@gmail.com. If you are looking to increase your crafting stash, definitely contact me because I would love to help you on how to make the most of your money and with what you have already. I want to make sure that you are a wise shopper as opposed to just, buying everything. Sometimes we don't need everything, but we just need a few things to tweak what we already have. Drop me an email, northernstamper@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed today's card, and join me next time for Takeaway Tuesday.